Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say I was not expecting that. By the end of the men's Royal Rumble match, I will say I was definitely not expecting that for sure. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another review, and this one is the 2025 men's Royal Rumble match. I don't need to have my light on today, the sun is out, and also, you guys can see me clearly. Boy oh boy, man, the Royal Rumble, I have to say. I did tell you guys that these Royal Rumbles did feel utterly predictable. But, I will be a man of my word. I am a man of my word. In my previous video, when I talked about the Royal Rumble matches being utterly predictable, I said I will admit that I was wrong if any of the people that I predicted to win did not win. And John Cena did not win the men's Royal Rumble match. So I am a man of my word, and I will tell you guys that I was in fact wrong. Congratulations to Jey Uso. All I can tell you, he deserves it. Jey Uso does deserve it more than someone like John Cena, because he's been working hard all year to earn, this opportunity. I will say that my dad told me something when the matchup ended. Now I don't know. Now this may feel like it may be facts or not, but he truly believes that Triple H changed the results to John Cena losing to avoid criticism because it got leaked of the eventual winners. The winners got leaked. However, the leaks did get something wrong. There was no AJ Lee. Now, I knew AJ Lee was never going to be in the match in the first place, but the leak apparently said AJ Lee was number 30, which that ended up being Nikki Bella. So, again, I want to make it very, very clear, I was not expecting AJ to appear at all. Some of you may say, oh, bullshit. Some of you may say it's bullshit. I was excited of the potential of her being in it as well. Look, if she was in it, I would have popped. If she wasn't, I wasn't going to be all that fussed about it. I was more surprised that Becky Lynch wasn't in the Women's Royal Rumble. I was more surprised Becky Lynch wasn't in the Women's. I think that was the more surprising one. But overall, when it comes to the overall winners, yes, Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble was ultimately predictable. They gave a lot of the women a lot of time in there. They did not have a lot of eliminations until B-Fab came out, because again, she's freaking useless. So the one thing I will say, I did enjoy the Women's Royal Rumble a lot more than the men's. It's probably just because I'm a women's guy. I always prefer women's wrestling. But, it was nice to see Roxanne Perez, even though it was, the third time she's been in it. And it was cool to see Stephanie Vaquer and even Julia, the NXT Women's Champion, to both be a part of the Royal Rumble matches. It was nice to see them participating. Not a fan of Stephanie being eliminated by Nia Jax, of all people, but you know what? You had to get eliminated by somebody, I guess. I was also surprised Jade Cargill wasn't in it, because I was expecting her to be in it. I was expecting her to return. But yet the biggest insult to me, was Triple H putting I Show Speed in the Men's Royal Rumble. To me, that was a joke. That was a complete and utter joke. I know Tozawa got taken out, but you're going to replace Tozawa with him? Everyone expected Aleister Black to return. Everyone expected Aleister Black to come back, which he didn't. There was really no surprises in the Men's Royal Rumble other than, I believe in Joe Hendry. Other than him, there was not really any surprises in the Men's Royal Rumble. They had Rey Mysterio start at number 1, because of course, you know, gotta always have him at number 1, I suppose. Penta was the highlight of the Men's Royal Rumble. He lasted 42 minutes. Now, I had a feeling he was going to have a good showing. Because, again, he's the new guy. He's the new guy. You want to showcase him. Jacob Fatu, he lasted quite a fair bit. You know, nearly half an hour, 20 minutes or so before he got eliminated by Braun Strowman. But I think the biggest surprise to me in the Women's Royal Rumble was that Roxanne Perez was the runner-up. Like, she was literally the last person eliminated by Charlotte Flair. I was fully expecting it to come down to Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair, but Roxanne Perez has now made history. She now holds the record of the longest time in the Women's Royal Rumble match. She came out at number 3, and, you know, she broke Bayley's record. Well, first it was Liv that broke it, but then Roxanne broke it. Liv broke it first. So technically, the record went from Bayley to Liv Morgan to Roxanne, but they're not going to acknowledge Liv as the longest running person. They're just going to say Bayley held it, and then Roxanne beat it. So, but I'm honestly surprised Roxanne didn't eliminate Bayley. I was kind of thinking Bayley was... I thought Bayley was either going to eliminate Roxanne or Roxanne was going to eliminate Bayley. Like, why have the two of them feud if one or the other weren't really going to eliminate each other? Just thought that... That's what you usually do when you're starting up rivalries. That's what you usually do when you're starting up rivalries. Or when you're in the middle of a rivalry. You eliminate your rival, like what happened with Braun Strowman. Alexa Bliss also made her comeback. Nice to see Alexa Bliss again, I will admit. I was quite happy to see her. The only good thing is that she's not with the Wyatt Six. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Thank you. That's all I wanted. I did not want her near the Wyatt Six. Thank you. Good job, Triple H. I will give you credit for that one. But also, Alexa Bliss was ultimately eliminated by Liv Morgan. I wonder if that will begin a rivalry between Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. I think that's a good feud. I think that's a good feud to bring Alexa Bliss back to. I think that's a nice little feud for Alexa to have at WrestleMania. Her and Liv Morgan, if they do have a match at WrestleMania. I highly doubt it. But it's a good feud for Alexa to come back to. I think that's a great feud to have Alexa Bliss come back to. But yeah, it was cool to see Alexa Bliss. It was also nice to see Nikki Bella. But again, a lot of people were expecting it to be AJ Lee, which listen, I would have marked out if it was her. I would have marked out if it was her, but in the back of my mind, I was like, keep your expectations low. I was telling myself, keep your expectations low. So, don't think for 1 second I was like, oh, I knew AJ wasn't going to be there. I was keeping my expectations low in case if AJ was there or not. But again, I was not fully expecting her to be there. I did forget about Nikki Bella, if I was completely honest. I talked about Nikki Bella coming back, and I completely forgot about her. But again, Becky Lynch didn't come out either, so I was kind of surprised that Becky didn't come back. I mean, Asuka and Carmella, that one was a bit of a stretch, but I had to mention them because there was a lot of possibilities. Was not a fan of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson being in the Royal Rumble match. I thought they were a bit of a waste of a space. And also B-Fab. I also thought B-Fab was a bit of a waste of space as well. When I saw Lyra Valkyria get eliminated early, I was quite surprised when she got eliminated by Ivy Nile. I was kind of surprised, because I kind of thought they'd keep her in there until Becky Lynch came back. But now I know why Lyra got eliminated as early as she was, because Becky wasn't going to be there. So it sounds like Ivy Nile is going to be feuding over the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm okay with. I'm a fan of Ivy Nile. You see, the Intercontinental title has more, women's IC title has more competition than the goddamn women's US title. The goddamn women's US title is just Meechin. Not poor old Blair Davenport couldn't even get into the women's Royal Rumble match. Could have put her in there instead of Lash Legend or hell, even frickin' B-Fab. If she cannot even get in the Royal Rumble match, you know she's doomed. If she cannot get in the Royal Rumble match, that just tells you Blair Davenport is completely and utterly screwed. She's not favoured backstage. You can clearly tell, since she wasn't in the Royal Rumble. You know, why did they even bother having Pure Fusion Collective all in the ring if they weren't going to dominate? They're freaking useless. The only person they got out was Maxine Dupree. Well done! You eliminated Maxine Dupree, Pure Fusion Collective. Well done! You eliminated Maxine, a complete and utter nobody. No disrespect to Maxine. I love me some Maxine, but she's a low card. She's a low card. That's not impressive. Eliminating Maxine being the only person you eliminate is not impressive at all. And again, this was the problem I had with the Women's Royal Rumble. It was so obvious that Charlotte Flair was going to win. There was barely any star power in there that could have made it interesting. Yes, I know I talked about Bianca, Naomi being there. Roxanne's technically star power. Yeah, Nia is technically star power. Julia and Stephanie Vakir are in theory. They are in theory star power because they're the big two new girls in NXT alongside Roxanne and Bayley. But again, it just felt so obvious in the beginning it was always going to be Charlotte Flair. My main worry was that Charlotte Flair was going to come out at number 30. I was very concerned Charlotte was going to come out at number 30. But she came out at 27. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't really care too much about the 2 out of 3 Falls tag team match. The Street Profits came back and ultimately cost the Motor City the tag team titles as DIY retained. It wasn't as good of a match as I was expecting it to be. I was kind of expecting it to be a really good matchup, but it actually kind of really wasn't. But I did enjoy the Cody Rhodes-Kevin Owens match. I thought the Kevin Owens-Cody Rhodes match was brutal. I thought it was great. They did a great job at highlighting how those two guys would have done absolutely anything to win. When Sami Zayn came out, I was fully expecting he was going to do something, but, you know, he didn't. And Cody Rhodes ultimately retained. And right decision, I think it's time to move Kevin on from Cody Rhodes. It's time to move them on. And it's time to give Cody Rhodes a new person to work with. So, does John Cena win the Elimination Chamber? I say yes. I say yes. Since they've advertised him for the Elimination Chamber, it makes me think John Cena is going to win the Elimination Chamber to get a shot at Cody Rhodes. That's kind of what I get. That's kind of my impression anyway. And I didn't really expect Paul Heyman to turn on Roman, but I was kind of expecting whoever eliminated Roman was gonna face him at WrestleMania. So, and it ended up being CM Punk. CM Punk eliminated both Roman and Seth. So maybe it's Punk and Roman at Mania. Punk and Seth at Mania. I don't know. Again, it's so shocking. I was just so surprised that Jey Uso won. I was like, yep, here we go. It's gonna be John Cena. But hey, kudos to WWE for surprising me. But overall, I enjoyed the Royal Rumble, despite the predictable outcome of Charlotte Flair. And you guys know me, I'm a big Charlotte guy. But I will tell you guys flat out, she should not have won. I will tell you guys, she shouldn't have won. But, you know, it was very, very predictable. It was very, very obvious she was going to win. There was no way you could hide it. There was no way you could hide the fact that she was going to win the Royal Rumble the moment she came back. And now her match with Tiffany Stratton is most likely going to happen at WrestleMania. Who does Rhea Ripley end up working with at WrestleMania? God, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Alexa Bliss, maybe? Alexa Bliss, maybe? Bianca Belair, maybe? Nikki Bella, if she ends up coming back full time? I don't know. I really don't know who Rhea will fight. I'm very sure Charlotte will go after Tiffy, since Charlotte really wants to have that match with Tiffany at WrestleMania. So I genuinely don't know who will go after Rhea. I genuinely don't know. Yeah, so that's really all I've really got for you guys for this Royal Rumble review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next video.